marriage, it's a beautiful thing, and it's a very complex thing as well. The longer you're married, the more you learn about yourself as a wife, the more you learn about your husband, and the more you learn about marriage in general. And then also along the way, there are some things you actually have to unlearn. In order for you to have the marriage that you want, you have to stop doing some things. But before I get into all that, let me welcome you back to my channel. My name is Ayanna, and this is Beyond Committed, where we talk about everything from life, faith, family, marriage, motherhood, and everything in between, and we take them beyond. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I'm so glad you stopped by. And then make sure you're not a stranger. Make sure you press that subscribe button below, and then turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now let's dive right in. I don't know about you, but I love being married, and I often find myself just trying to learn more things about marriage, trying to learn more things for me to be a better wife, whether that is books, blogs, podcasts, YouTube videos, wife coaches, counseling, retreats, all of it. I've done it all, and I will continue to do it all because it's so important that as wives, we continue to pour into ourselves and learn about ourselves and our husbands in marriage, because we never know it all. There's so much for us to grow into learning. But over time, we also have to unlearn some things and stop doing some things so that we can grow as a wife, but also that we can strengthen and nurture our marriage. And there are 5 things that us as wives have to stop doing, not just in 2021, but for years to come, in order for us to have the marriages that we want. The first thing that as wives we have to stop doing is trying to change our husbands, because the only person that we can change is us. And it's so important that we are mindful of that and be reminded of that, because I know I have to be reminded of that as well, because it's so easy to get caught up in these ideas of what our husband should be, or where he should be in this season, or where we want him to be, or the man that we want him to be. But God created him as he did on purpose. So it's so important that we complement each other, that we walk alongside each other, that we encourage each other along our journey into growing and going to where God has us, but realizing that the only person that we honestly can change is us. So making sure that we're prayerfully and diligently being intentional about being the best wife we can, so our husbands will also be intentionally and diligent about being the best husbands they can. And the second thing we have to stop doing as wives is only praying alone. And by this, I mean just praying by yourself and not coming together with your husband and being intentional about building a prayer life together. Because I am a firm believer that a praying wife is a powerful wife, but a praying couple is an unstoppable couple. And it's something that you have to do together. And it's something that I know it's not easy at first. I know for my husband and I, us praying together was a little awkward at first, because I'm like, well, what am I going to say? And what is he going to think? And my prayers don't sound like his, and his prayers don't sound like mine. Or what if he prays for something that I'm not sure about? Whatever. I mean, I had all these internal things going on. But then I realized that it's not about what I say. It's about just coming together with my husband in a way that is God honoring, in a way that is God seeking, in a way that God honors and is in the midst of. So it's so important that as wives, yes, we're praying. Yes, we're taking time to be intentional about our own relationship with God, spending time with God, praising, worshiping, praying, all of those things for us as women and as wives, as individuals, yes. But in marriage, because it's a covenant relationship between you, God, and your husband, you have to make sure you are all meeting together and being intentional about it. And prayer is a great way for you not just to be intentional about your marriage, but for you to build an intimate relationship between you and your husband and you and God. The third thing that as wives we have to stop doing is comparing ourselves to other wives and our husbands to other husbands, because we're different. And God created us like that on purpose. And just like we're different from other women and our husbands are different from other men, our marriage is uniquely different as well. And it's a beautiful thing that should be celebrated. Now, yes, we should look to other couples for inspiration, to learn, to grow, to be prayed for, to just have fun with, to do this thing in community, because we are truly stronger together. And it's so important that in marriage, we have a village around us supporting us. But in the midst of having that village, in the midst of learning and looking to and being inspired by others, we are mindful that we're not comparing ourselves to others, because we're different. And when we compare ourselves to others, that means also at times that we're devaluing ourselves, because it's like, hey, well, if I could just be like her, or he could just be like him, or we could have a marriage just like theirs. But we don't have those same experiences. We didn't grow up the same. We're not the same people. We don't have the same relationship. We don't have the same needs, wants, vision, goals, all of that. So it's so important that we're mindful of that and celebrating our differences, encourage each other along, but making sure we're not comparison, because that truly will steal your joy. The fourth thing you have to stop doing as a wife is not seeking or asking for the help that you need. Yes, there are times where you put on your superwoman cape and you are just doing all the things, but you were not created to do all the things by yourself all the time. You are a team, so you have to act like it. Seek help from your husband. Seek guidance. Seek just comfort. I mean, there may be some things that he can't even help you do, or maybe be relief, but it may be just giving you a peace and a comfort for you just to be able to share those needs. And also, he may be able to help you in a way you never even thought of, because you didn't give him an opportunity to even try or know where you needed help, or where you just wanted, the load taken off a little. And then also realize that even though you're in it together, even though you are a team, there are some things in which you may experience, or some ways in which you need help that you can't get from just you two. So you need outside help, and that's okay too. That's a way to just enrich you as a woman, as a wife, and your marriage, and just strengthen you along the way. Whether that is getting a marriage coach, whether that is getting a marriage therapist, whether that is getting house cleaning or a food delivery service, whatever it is, whatever help you need, you cannot be afraid to seek the help you need so you can have the marriage that you want. And the fifth thing that we have to stop doing as wives is selling for today, thinking that this is as good as it gets. And that's whether good or bad. You may be in a good season in your marriage. We're like, look, I'm loving my husband. I'm loving marriage. We are growing. We have never been stronger, more in love, all those things. And that's great. But, that's not all there is. There is so much more for you to experience. There are so many more blessings for you to receive. There's so much more for your marriage to achieve that you have just not even seen yet. So you can't just settle for today's blessings and happiness. There's so much more ahead of you. And then if you're not on the good side and it's like, okay, this is hard. I mean, we're struggling. Marriage is just overwhelming. I'm tired. I'm hurting. We're going through a storm and a trial, because we all do. Marriage, just like life, can be messy. And it's not always unicorns and rainbows. It's not always lovey-dovey. It's not always, I want to be around you and I want you to just, be in your presence. Sometimes it's like, okay, this is hard and I'm struggling right now. But you can't get stuck in that either. You can't settle into thinking that this is all there will be, because there is more on the other side as well. There is so much growth. There is so much love. There's so many blessings on the other side of whatever storm you're on, if you just continue to persevere. Find the blessing of today, yes, endure, but also realize that settling for today, whether you're in a good space or a not so good space, is not what God has for you, because God has so much more, not just for you, but for your marriage. All right, that's it for today. And I want to know, what's the one thing that you have to stop doing for you to grow and go to exactly where God has for you in your marriage? Let me know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and then make sure you press that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now, until I see you again, bye.